Amazon is a burning ship that gets you from point A to point B. Today, I'm going to be talking about why this is, but at the same time, I am an Amazon seller who has done 1.1 million in sales in the last 12 months, about 250K profit. And so I still think Amazon is a good business model, obviously, but I definitely want to talk about how it's actually a burning ship as well, and that you need to be doing risk analysis on your own business um, at any given point, whether you're just starting and you're scanning books and you're trying to make another couple $100 profit, or whether you're out there deep in the trenches, leveraged with credit cards and selling um, thousands or hundreds of thousands or millions on Amazon. So obviously, like, I really enjoy Amazon. I love Amazon. It's a great platform. What they've done with their marketing to basically have it be the place where items sell the fastest and for the most amount of money in a lot of cases is absolutely amazing. Um, I've been selling on Amazon since 2020. I started with books. I sold for almost a year books, was making a full-time income doing that. And then I eventually transitioned to retail and online arbitrage. I was running from Walmart to Walmart buying rare car speakers, 22 caliber ammo, CO2 ammo, various sports stuff. And then was also doing online arbitrage with some of the stuff that was online in stores. I was also thrifting some at the time, and I got the chance to clean out an office building that they were selling, and they let me also donate or sell any of the items that were in the office space. And so I learned about the world of electronics, office supplies, and some of those discontinued office supplies and electronics. And I discovered that some of these sold extremely quickly, and I was like, where can I get more of these? And eBay was the place. The specific item that I found back then was the Dymo 450 and some of the related items to that. And basically, at the time, it was selling thousands a month at around $80 before this, and then it got discontinued, or the supply kind of the rug was pulled out of the supply. And over the next year and a half, the price 4, 5, 6x. And so even used Dymos from eBay were selling for 140, 150, all the way up to $300 on Amazon. So basically what I was doing is I had been in business for a little while and I had some money. So I was buying Dymos off of eBay for a cheaper price, because the sold comps on eBay hadn't actually caught up to the price of it on Amazon. And people were still wanting to buy on Amazon and buy this item for more money because they were just used to using this item. There were YouTube guides about it. I think people were really loyal to this brand for a while, and eventually Rollo took over. But there was a big opportunity there. And then eventually I transitioned out of those types of items, and I've been selling new items ever since. Last year, I made close to 200,000 in profit, and this year I'm well on track to make about 270 in profit. Average month these days is around 20K profit, and that's after expenses, after software, after paying my VAs, after any broken and lost items. So all this to say, Amazon has created a great opportunity. I've been able to take money out of my business and put it into other safer investments where there's no suspension risk. These days, unless you've been living under a rock, there's been a little bit of a problem when it comes to people getting suspended, especially in the last like 9 months or so. And I 100% agree that I'm doing a business model that is more risky. It's been a risky business model for a long time, but it's also gotten riskier in the last year or so. Amazon has consistently made changes that make, they're just doing what they want to do as a business, and that makes sense. They're more likely to gate brands, like I've heard of people. I think Duke does Amazon. He got red restricted in a brand that he had $20,000 buy cost of. And he's not even doing the business model that I'm doing. He's doing regular online arbitrage, someone who has receipts in an official way for everything that he's doing. But yet he gets red restricted and just suddenly like, oh, you just can't sell this. So what he did is he sold the items on Walmart. And that's part of my risk mitigation strategy that we'll get to in a minute. There was also the whole, like, we're going to gate Nike again. We're going to gate Adidas again. I've had plenty of brands just randomly get re-gated that I've been able to sell for years. And so like a lot of these are little small changes that just make it harder to sell. And like, I'm fully confident in my ability to keep pivoting and changing and growing and getting better. But at the same time, Amazon is a burning ship that they're just slowly squeezing and making it harder and harder. It's easier and easier to get suspended than ever, especially FBA sellers who are not doing massive volume, and even like wholesale and online arbitrage people who have regular receipts are still getting Section 3'd, like people who don't even do eBay to Amazon. So, and so of course it's going to be more risky to do eBay to Amazon. But at the same time, as a whole, Amazon is something that's going to get you from point A to point B. And it may be a burning ship that burns in very slowly, just a random section of the ship on the side that isn't necessary is burning, but you're still in the ship and you have to continually do risk analysis to make sure that your whole business model isn't completely at risk there. Or potentially like half the ship's on fire and you just don't know it yet, and then suddenly your ship's going to start sinking. You have to be doing that risk analysis. You have to be understanding your own financial situation. And this isn't financial advice, so do your own research. But for me, in my personal experience, at the very start of when I got started on Amazon, I had been reselling for about a year on eBay. I had just gotten out of school. My net worth was under $5,000. And so like, I kind of felt like I had nothing to lose. And so when I found this opportunity with the Dymos, I took out a 0% APR card. And when that went well, for the $10,000, I took out more credit, and I really did scale this thing quite a bit to get up to, at the max of that period, it was around 100K a month in sales. So for me and my risk analysis, it was worth putting a lot of money into this quote unquote sinking ship, because like, you know, like if I had to lose everything and get suspended, I'd be in debt. I'd have to bankrupt. But it's not like I was going to lose like $600,000 if I got suspended. Whereas these days, it's a matter of a lot of these Amazon sellers will just keep reinvesting forever and ever and ever. And number one, they don't pay off their cards. And number two, they just keep reinvesting everything. And if you just keep reinvesting everything and everything, like your net worth is monopoly money, because you could get Section 3, you could get suspended, you could make a bad buy. And so at some point when you're at Las Vegas, you have to take your money off the table and actually like take some profit. So you have to figure out what that is for you. So what is point A and what is point B? And are you going to have the self-control to actually take your chips off the table when you've gotten to point B? Whereas point B just going to keep changing. That's a serious talk with yourself that you have to keep having. So for me, like I'm at a very good profit per month basis. Over the last year and a half or so, I've made consistent changes to make my business less risky from a capital perspective. So a year and a half, 2 years ago, I was doing all FBA, which is slower with cash flow. which means you have to have more invested, and also means that your inventory is at Amazon. So your inventory is at risk. Your money is in the system for longer, so there's more risk, and you have to use more money. So I decided around a year ago I was going to start doing some FBM. I kind of to offset some of that risk. Some of my inventory would be at home, and also the cash flow cycle would be faster. I continued doing that to a higher and higher degree. And so like the cash flow cycle is faster with FBM, assuming your stuff sells, which is a big assumption. You have to actually make the correct choices on your buys. But that's just like anything. And so also along with that, probably even before I made the switch from mostly FBA to FBM, I started, like cutting out a lot of the 30, 40, 50% ROI purchases that I was making. And I like raised my ROI over the last several months at that period, so that instead of having to run the whole thing with a certain amount of money, like my average ROI was higher, so I could like run it with half the capital. And then that combined with FBM, I'm still able to do 20K profit months with a lot less money than I would have been if I was doing FBA. And then also like the inventory is not at Amazon, which is like, if you're this far in the video, like I think FBA, you can definitely do it. But I've just seen so many of these Section 3s have been people who do FBA. That's just been what I've seen. And like, it makes sense. Like the inventory is at FBA. They can literally go check it and see what's going on. And then they're more financially incentivized to actually keep your inventory, which is like, hopefully the rabbit hole doesn't go that deep and it's not that nefarious, but like you gotta look at the motivations there. Also, like FBA is Amazon's, it's Amazon's baby. Like they send Prime to customers, and they're trying to make that as good of a service for the customer as they can. And FBM is kind of not in the highlight of anything. So like, of course, they're going to be stricter with FBA. So that's just another thing to keep in mind. So the whole point of this video and this rant is that Amazon, to whatever degree it is, whether it's burning and it's going to be burnt in 15 years, whether it's like only the front of the boat that doesn't matter potentially is on fire, or whether the whole thing's on fire, like you have to understand like how much risk you're taking and how much risk financially you're willing to take. And like, do you have a backup option? Like, if you get suspended, are you going to be able to get your account back? Are you going to make another account? Do you have a Walmart account active? So these are things that to be thinking about, because I think you can be reselling as your career, but you need to have some backup options. And yes, you are building up some skills, but you're never like, the platform that you're selling on it isn't guaranteed. So that's just a part of this business. I read Millionaire Fastlane recently, and he gave 5 criteria for a profitable business. And Amazon has a lot of them. But the thing that it doesn't have very, very well is control. Because Amazon can pull the rug out from you. And like, most of the time, the issues are solvable, but not always. Like, even if you're doing stuff with like invoices and you're just doing regular online arbitrage or wholesale, like, these people have still had problems. So from my perspective, I'm going to run up the ROI, do things as well and solidly as I can, sell discontinued products that people need, and take my money and put it somewhere else, and maintain at a certain rate per month. So if you enjoyed this type of video, I'm going to be having more videos posted here soon. Please subscribe. It lets me know that this is something that's helpful. I also have a free Discord that we talk a lot about these things in, and people have been getting a lot of help in. That will be in the description. It's free. Would love to see you there. Have a good day and take care.